Also why you need to see bad things as a blessing, because they're the building blocks to make you the man you want to be. When people say to me, this bad thing happened to me, I say, good. That's my instant response. This girl left me, good. I lost all my money, good. What do you mean good? Good. This is your chance to take all of that negative emotion, all of those building blocks, and turn yourself into a man that prevents these bad things happening to them ever again. Now, of course, you have to have the agency to do that. You're right. If you're going to be broken by it, then you're going to fail. But bad things are certainly a blessing. I believe that's how God teaches. I would actually argue that men only learn through pain. I think we only learn that way. I don't think men know how to learn the easy way. I can speak for myself. How many times, men are pretty simple. We'll cheat on our girl and almost lose her, and we'll cheat on our girl and almost lose her, and we'll cheat on our girl and almost lose her, and we'll cheat on our girl and almost lose her, and then we'll cheat on our girl and she'll leave, and we'll be like, oh, we had our chances. We won't take them. This is how we are. We'll drive that car and almost crash 100 times. It's only after we plow it into a tree that we'll learn a lesson.
Do you know we have our board meetings, and whenever things are going well, we never really thrash it out. We only thrash it out when things are not going well that
Always,
way.
always,
Yeah.
always. That's how we are. We learn through pain and suffering, which is why God gives it to us, because God is here to teach us. God is like a father, and a father teaches you, I believe, through pain. If a dad wants to teach you how to ride a bike, he puts you on the bike, lets you fall off and get hurt, puts you back on the bike. Over and over and over until you can ride the bike. God does the same thing.
You don't get the lessons you want, you get the lessons you need.
Absolutely agree. So I believe that bad things happening to you are a fantastic thing. I believe you need to be strong enough to deal with them and then articulate them. I do find it amazing that a lot of people can't speak well. I find that truly amazing. If you don't have the ability to project your thoughts to other people, I don't know how you're going to be successful in life. The reason I refuse to learn another language is because I haven't learned English yet. There's words I don't know, and English is the most profitable language for me to know. So I'm going to learn English. If I want to spend time learning a language, I'll read the English dictionary. I'm not going to learn another language and start stuttering like a dummy. But there are people who've been speaking English their entire life and they can't even speak it. It's actually a pet peeve of mine. You know when you said earlier about being rich allows you to say no? I'm going to be very honest. I am the worst person to pitch to. I get people trying to pitch me for business and I'm the worst. Because if you're a vegan, no. If you turn up in a Prius or a Tesla, no. No. I'm nothing against Tesla. Don't ban me, Elon. But if somebody cannot project their ideas to me succinctly, I instantly just dislike them, because maybe I have ADHD, maybe I'm too busy, I don't know what it is, but I don't have time for your ums and ahs. I don't have time for it. So if I'm sitting in a meeting and somebody goes, we're gonna start with, and this is how people speak. You're a full-grown man and you can't finish a sentence without saying or ah in the only language you know. You've been speaking it for 40 years. It bothers me. It's a pet peeve of mine. It irks me. Occasionally we make mistakes, fine, whatever. But if you actually listened to most people speak, that's how most people communicate with the world. You wonder why you can't convince a girl to sleep with you? Your tits are nice. Dummy! You're a dummy! No wonder you can't make any money. You're an idiot. This is people. They're umming and ahhing their way through life. It bothers me. When people come to pitch me, if they say or ah too much in the first sentence, it's over. I'm like, sorry, sir. When you learn to talk English, when you learn to speak, I might give you another chance. Goodbye. So you're right. The ability to project the thoughts inside of your mind in a way that other people can digest and is also entertaining is massively a superpower. How do you develop that superpower? It's not through practice. People think it's practice. Practice doesn't make perfect. Because
you can practice a really bad habit and get really good at a really shit thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The person who ums and ahs at 48 has been practicing his whole life. He's practiced just fine.
He's great at that.
He's great. Feedback is what's important. You have to analyze. I'll give you an example. When I was playing chess as a kid, I would play chess for 2 hours a day training under my father. 1 hour would be play, 1 hour would be going back through the games and analyzing the games. I always enjoyed playing, but I hated analyzing. But it was the analysis that made me better. And I can prove that now, because when I was 8 or 9, I think my rating was around 1500. Now, I've been playing Blitz. I play 3-minute chess online for 20 years. ever since I was a child, and my rating is 1700. I've gotten no better in 20 years because I don't watch my games back, I don't analyze them, I don't look where I made mistakes, I just play. That's the problem. So when people speak, they just speak. They don't watch themselves back. I'm gonna watch this podcast 10 times. I'm gonna identify every single time I stuttered or made a mistake or didn't use the word I should have used. And then people are gonna ask me, how do I speak the way I speak? Why do my podcasts get the most views? Because I'm a professional. And if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it properly. That's why. Most people will do a podcast and they'll just sit there and they'll just talk shit and then they'll finish it and they'll go on with their brokey day and be a brokey. But it's very interesting what you said about speech because that also ties back to my current predicament. This is the first time in my adult life I can't use my superpower. Because my superpower is talking. If you were to put me in front of someone and give me an hour to convince them that I could rip out their throat with my little finger, I guarantee by the end they'd be afraid. We both know I probably couldn't. But by the end, part of them would think, he's competent. I can't talk in court because I don't speak Romanian. It's very weird for me. I became acutely aware of my superpower because I'm going through this process and my lawyer's talking, blah, blah. And I'm like, why am I so frustrated with all of this? And one day it dawned on me, I don't get to talk. When I get to talk, this is how much of a superpower speaking is. When I get to talk, it's fine. I could have talked the ocean out of freezing me to death on the Titanic. I could have literally said, listen, bro, my unmatched perspicacity, but I could have ran my mouth and I would have, it would have warmed up for me. I'm that guy. I can't talk now. So it's very frustrating. So it's interesting you say how it's a superpower. It certainly is because I've even realized it in this current predicament. I mean, how important it is to be able to speak.
And when you've lost it, because you've lost it, like if you lost your hands.
Yeah. That's right, exactly, because I've lost it. And the fact there are people going through the world today who want to be successful and want to have all these amazing things, and they only speak English, and they communicate in English, and they try and get other people to understand their ideas in English, and they can't speak English. Born to lose. Born to lose.
On a recent live I did, I pissed a fucking lot of people off because I said that ADHD doesn't exist.
Okay.
Do you think ADHD exists as a concept, or do you think it's something sold to us by Big Pharma?
I don't think it exists. I agree with you. And I'm gonna say there may be some very extreme examples of somebody who may have ADHD, but like everything in the world today now, it's been so massively overprescribed that it's lost all meaning. Like we talked about rape earlier. Over accused loses meaning. ADHD is overprescribed, lost all meaning. Along with basically every mental illness, it's overprescribed, so it means nothing anymore. I watched a show once about a kid. I don't think he had ADHD, maybe he did. Or maybe he had autism, I don't know what he had. Something. And he had to walk down the stairs in a particular order. Skip the first step, hop on the second step, turn backwards, walk 3 steps, some weird order for his stairs. If he didn't, when he got in the car, he'd have a temper tantrum and his parents had to take him back in for him to walk the stairs. And I remember sitting with a girl there saying, this is garbage. That kid needs discipline. And the woman said to me, oh, maybe he has ADHD, maybe he has autism, you don't understand everything, you're not a psychiatrist, you're not a therapist, blah, blah, blah. And I turned to her and said, I have never seen an African child who has to walk 10 miles for water, doing the walk twice because they missed a step. Ever. If it was a disease, that's exactly what you'd see. You'd see African kids walking backwards and doing a hop and doing the walk twice because they missed a step. Never seems to happen, does it? So it's not a disease, is it? It's idiot parents with a spoiled kid. And I would argue that ADHD is pretty much the same in most cases. Oh, he doesn't want to listen, he has ADHD. No, you have no control of your child. That's the first thing. The second thing, of course he has ADHD. When he's sitting on a tablet playing video games all day, and now he has to go to school and read a boring book, he's bored, as I would be. Of course he is. The only thing that's going to keep him doing something that bores him is discipline, and you don't discipline your little kid. So no, he hasn't got ADHD. You're a crap parent. How about that? I would have loved to tell my father that I can't play chess because I have ADHD. I would have loved
Did you have got the best lesson?
the reaction. Because there were times I didn't want to play chess, but I had to play chess because I understood that there are some forces of nature which you cannot argue against. When a hurricane comes, there's not much you can do. And when your father says to play chess, there's not much you can do besides obey, unless you want to be destroyed. So I understood. I would have loved to see his reaction. Dad, I have ADHD. Teacher says I have ADHD. Bro, I don't know if I'd be sitting here alive. But I was raised in a disciplinarian household. And I would love for my children to try that crap with me. Try it. I guarantee my kids will not have ADHD. I'll say it here on camera. I won't allow them to. I won't allow them to. Now, like I said, I'm sure there's extreme examples, but I think most of it is just overdiagnosed lack of discipline. Like everything else in the world. Thyroid, no. Overdiagnosed lack of discipline. That's all it is. Depression, no. Overdiagnosed lack of discipline. Discipline will fix your thyroid issue because you'll stop shoving cake down your face. And discipline will fix your depression because you'll become such a monumentally successful person you're not depressed anymore. And it'll fix your ADHD because you do what you're supposed to do, not because you want to do it, not because you're motivated to do it, but because you have to do it, so you're going to do it. That's how it works. That's all it is. We lack discipline in the world today. And there are certain nations where they don't lack discipline, and for some reason, all of these illnesses don't exist. If they're an illness, why are they not universal across the human condition? Why could the kids in China go to school and listen in school, but the kids in America can't? If it's a disease. Genuine question to all the psychiatrists who are making a bunch of money and Big Pharma who are making a bunch of money. Someone answer me. Why can the Chinese kids listen to the teacher? And why can't the American kids listen to the teacher if it's a disease that comes out of it? I'll tell you why. You get your ass whooped in one place and another you won't. I remember, I love my father with all my heart, but I remember his favorite saying was so brutally simple. It used to frustrate me when I was young, but it was true. I don't negotiate with children. Done. Can I have this candy? No. Why? I don't negotiate with children. And if I asked again, I got my ass kicked. That was it. Now I'm a full-grown man. I think, yeah, I don't negotiate. Imagine me negotiating with a kid. Top G, it's a child here. If you're good today and you don't make a mess, I'll give you some candy. I have to do a business deal with a 6-year-old. I have to do a business deal with a toddler. Like a dummy. If you want to sleep in a house and you want to eat food, you're going to do as I say, because I raise you. And people can come along and call me all these names. Well, how he does is bad. All I'm talking about is the basic discipline that everyone had only 20 years ago. We built the pyramids, we went to the moon, we built New York City and Mumbai and Tokyo and conquered the entire world with discipline. We did fine. The kids became adults and everything was okay. Telling a kid it's not in charge of you does not damage the kid. This new world thing is that the kid's in charge of the parent. Well, the kid feels and the kid thinks. The kid is 6. I don't give a shit what the kid feels and thinks. The kid is 6. I am 37. I am smarter. So no, and I do not negotiate with children. They will obey me blindly. And you know what? Some liberal idiot is going to take this clip and they're going to put it on Twitter and say, Andrew's abusive to his kid.
And then you'll just get bigger.
No, I'll get bigger. Like a dummy. And I cannot wait, because the world is cyclical, God is just, for the day to come when their little loser offspring, with their huge list of mental illnesses, is failing in life 30 years from now. And little Andrew Tate is driving his Bugatti, one of 10. Their little loser offspring get to look at my winner offspring. And perhaps if I'm still alive and that liberal idiot is still alive, I can inbox him on Twitter and say, you failed as a parent, don't you? And I'm petty enough to do that, so I will.
How many kids do you have?
It's confidential.
But if the amount you say is not putting any of them in any risk, is it?
Depends. What if they want to annihilate my entire bloodline?
Well, but the more kids you have, the harder that is for them.
Correct. And if they don't know how many there are, it's even harder.
Is it more than 5?
It's more than 5.
Is it more than 10?
I can't give you any more information than that, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, I respect that, but I've still got to do my job.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, you know, because perhaps after they assassinate me, they might go for the future saviors of Earth. It's like John Connor.
Is that why you're having so many kids? Because the bloodline, the Tate surname.
This is an interesting conversation. We might disagree on this one. I think it's the masculine imperative to have as many kids as possible. And I think the only reason men don't have a bunch of kids with a bunch of women is because they're afraid of their woman getting mad at them and yelling at them. I think that men, if you were to be honest with yourselves in the mirror, you would say, I want a bunch of kids with a bunch of beautiful women. But they don't, because they meet one woman who they love, which is fine. And they know that if they have more than one woman to have kids from, they have kids outside of their marriage, it's going to upset their wife, which is fine. I'm not hating on them. I'm saying that it's not what they want. They're allowing the woman's feeling